Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
That's right. We're talking about the manifold. Whew. Disgusting. Horrible sounding. You can't pretend like it's cool. It's not behind. It's not like a. It just sounds bad, and it's a terrible job to do on almost anything. And we're going to walk you through it here today on this here Bronco. It's a 1989 Bronco, 2.9 fuel injected, 5-speed, fun little truck, but not a fun project on this. So stick around and we're going to get into it. So what we actually did was just get a whole new brand new manifold along with the gasket, because what happens with these typically is they warp in one way, shape, or form. The manifold itself will warp, and that's why your gasket will blow out typically, or a bolt will break or whatever. So we just got brand new everything, so we didn't have to mess with it right out of the box. And it was only $50 for the manifold and the gasket, so not particularly expensive. The first thing you're actually going to want to do is to remove that inner fender, and this is going to go the same for just about any vehicle on the road. You do not want to contend with that inner fender when you're working with manifold, studs, gaskets, anything like that. Just get it out of your way. This is my first good look at the actual manifold itself, and I'd seen that they'd, squish some JB Weld on it or whatever down in the crevice. I thought they were just kind of packing in their problem and seeing what they could do with, but I see it once I'm in there. I see that they packed it into the actual bolt hole, so I know pretty well right away that they have broken a stud off or a bolt off doing that before, and sort of trying to cover their mess. So that's unfortunate. The manifold actually comes out with relative ease, but once I get it out, I see that dreaded busted off bolt that I had kind of expected, and it is a real bummer to have to see. As you can see, they've tried to do something, they tried to drill it out something, and it didn't work. So it behooves me to try to tackle this myself. I tried to get in there to weld on a nut and whatnot, but I realized I did not have enough space, and I have to take a wheel off so I can get a better location on this whole thing. So I get the first nut welded on, and I'm feeling pretty proud for about an instant. Can you guess how many times I attempt this maniacal process? Did you guess 9? Time and energy well spent. However, I just could not get it, so I have to figure out something a little different for this particular motor. So I get out some different kind of tools. So anyone that knows anything about manifold, bolt, studs, what have you, is they are incredibly hard and they're really tough to actually drill out. So what I ended up having to do is use a carbide drill bit to just dig out the rest of that crud in there, and half that bolt. There's really a tiny little amount of bolt left in there, and it did not want to come out no matter what I did with the welding on and whatnot. So this was kind of my last resort. Now, luckily this worked out for me, but this is only because of the unique design of the 2.9 head. The way that the manifold actually comes up to it, it sort of dishes up, so you can drill a hole or make a hole directly through that and be able to put a bolt and hug it as opposed to thread it into a hole. Most motors this would not have worked on. I would have had to drill it out correctly, tap it to perfection, and make sure that my manifold was actually augered out so I could fit a larger bolt in to be able to get this thing to come all together again. So I got super lucky. I got that new manifold in, and not only does it look good, but it sounds good too. And now really all that's left is to button this thing all back up and to maybe take it for a little drive. I am really pleased with how this turned out in general. Let's get a quick little before and after. Quite a bit better, if I do say so myself, and will no longer be teased in the line at McDonald's or, you know, yelled at by patriots all over this country that our exhaust sounds horrible. It sounds really, really nice, and that is what we were shooting for on this. And this is just sort of a warning video to those of you who have manifold problems that this is a big job. This can go sideways on you quick, and it's one maybe to be left for the professionals, but I don't know, tackle it, try it, why not? What's the worst that can happen? You can shove it full of JB weld and sell it to somebody like me later on. It doesn't matter. So thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope this was of interest to you. This little B2 Bronco is neat. It might be back again in the future. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.